So I have been working on the front of this. I've done the 52-inch spring conversion on the front and a few other upgrades. You can check out the other videos. But it's time to get to the back. So I'm going to actually do a 56-inch conversion on the back. But I want to get the box off of here and out of my way so I can see what I'm doing, so you can see what I'm doing. And just, it'll make it a lot easier than trying to work on my back, cutting all that stuff out. I could just right at my belly. So anyhow, I'm going to get this tore apart and we'll get started on that rear hanger work. Last night we blew the bed off the back of this. Now I have this down to where I can get to the suspension. So I wire wheeled the frame rails, got all the rust, loose rust, scale and dirt and everything off of it. Treated it with this rust reformer, stuff I got from Harbor Freight. Works really good, I really like it. Price is good. I got the springs out of it, the shocks off of it, all of the exhaust hangers. There were like 3 exhaust hangers hanging on here. So I peeled them out. And so now I am going to remove these, get them out of the way. I'm going to throw my 56-inch springs in, bolt them to the front. I'll probably paint that before I bolt them in. Bolt them to the rear axle, and that way I can figure out where the new hanger needs to go. And yeah, we'll go from there. So I threw a 2x4 in between the spring hanger, or between the eye of the spring and the bottom of the frame. That way I could set the pickup all the way down on the ground and get the weight of the pickup on the suspension. So that's where we're sitting right now. I just took a measurement, and originally I was at 4 inches of clearance. Right now I'm sitting at 8. So that gives me the 4 inches I was kind of looking for. But I didn't figure in at this moment the weight of the box. So I'm going to add an extra 1/2 inch to 1 inch for the weight. And then whatever junk I'm going to put in the back of it. So I'm going to go ahead and give me a 1/2 inch to 1 inch more. Probably more like 1 inch. So where we're sitting right now, so I picked up these are actually lowering shackles, 1 to 2 inch lowering shackles. It was like $30 for the pair. They're built just as strong as the factory ones, same thickness of material, except for they're just longer. And I want a little longer shackle because I need to have this sitting at about a 45-degree angle just for it to be in that optimum position. So going with a longer shackle, that will allow more spring flex under articulation that will allow it to drop further. So I went with the longer shackle, but I'm going to put it in the shorter hole That way, if I need to add some height to it, I can add that little bit right there. It won't be much, but it'll be an inch or something like that. So I need to figure out where to put my hanger. That's why I got this set up here. That's why I have it on loaded up here. So my thought is I will set that at about a 45. I'll run this rod through here and give me a point on the frame that needs to be. So there is a point, I'll mark a scribe in it here, scratch a spot. Well, the funny thing is that's where that other hanger was. I thought I was going to have to move it back further because of the length of the spring. But because of the length of the spring, that is the good position to have that at a 45-degree angle. So what I need to do now is build a hanger bracket. The ones that you would buy actually allow quite a bit of lift. I think my son Jeremy has some on his Suburban, and it was only supposed to be a 4-inch lift, but with those brackets and the springs that he put on there, and he wanted a longer shackle, it ended up being over 6 inches. I think he said it was like 6 or 7 inches of lift. Well, I don't want that much lift. I only want about 4 to 5 inches on the back here. So anyhow, I need to build a bracket. That's what I'm going to do now, and I just got to measure these things out. I'm going to go about an 8-inch wide bracket or a plate. That's like 4.5. But I got to build it all right here, and it's like I say, it can't be real low. So I'm going to get after this, get this built or get it drawn out, and try to make something happen. So here's what I came up with: plate to mount to the frame. I already made 2 of those, got them cut out, drilled out, and the holes even line up. I cheated a little bit. I used brackets all cut out. I used this old hanger as a template. I clamped it on, center punched these holes out, drilled them out, perfect match. So I have that part done. Now, I need to cut out the, how am I going to show this? This part here that you're seeing, which is actually this piece right here. This part here basically is a duplicate of that. It's this part here, goes up, bends that way, and then bends up. So it'll be shaped like that. I have those drilled out. I'm actually going to do, this was the hole that I needed for the hanger, the position that I have it in. I'm going to go ahead and do another hole that's a little over an inch. It was 1 3/4 inches, I think. A little bit, in case I need to get more lift. I have this, and I also have the extra hole on the shackle. So it just gives me options. Now I'm just going to cut out a couple more. This is my templates I made. I need to cut out 2 of these, and bend them. So if you didn't notice, I'm using scrap steel. There will be a hole in there. I will put it up towards the top, not down where I'm drilling the other holes. I'll put it in this position. This is the very top. Boy, getting dirty, you can't see it. Anyhow, it'll be way up on top. And I could fill weld that, get rid of it totally. Anyhow, so I've got all my pieces. That's ready to be welded on. I need to bend these and bend this. Got 2 bends here and 2 bends on that one. Oh, and I got a real bunch of holes. So like I did this one, I'll do the other ones. I just put these 2 plates together. Just kind of tack welded them so they're not going to move. So I got perfect holes on both plates. I'll clean all the slag off of this. I'll do the same thing. I'll tack weld those together, drill my holes. Same here. I'll just get these cleaned up, drilled out, bent, and I'll start welding these together. All right, I marked all these out where I need to put my bends. I got to be really mindful of which side is in and out. So I put marks on one side or the other, and did everything I could to try to keep that in mind. So I'm going to do this inside bend first. Don't know that I trust myself here. Looks like a 45. Very close. Almost. It might be enough. See if I can. I don't think I can get any more than. Oh, might have. Yeah, look at that. Did it. Great. And then I got to put a little bend on this side. I'm about 1 inch shy of being where I need to bend that. I'll come back to that one later. Maybe I need to do that one first. That's the angle I need. Well, I guess I'll just keep checking it until it's right. Oh, I'm glad I stopped there. That was where I needed it. Okay. Now, let's try to do this one. Yeah, that's what I should have done with that first one, darn it. You live, you learn. Help me. Tons I'm putting on it. Oh, I might have went over 45. Oh, well, just a hair. All right. Got 2 plates that are nearly identical. Now I got these guys. So anyhow, where I finally wound up, I'm at 4.5 inches over where I started. I'm at 8.5. I started at 4. Got a extra half inch. Probably because I went ahead and lowered or put this in that lower hole instead of the upper hole like I was originally talking. I'm glad I did. I did put another set of holes in here to lift it a little bit more. Probably only going to be, it's 1.5 inches between these two holes. I went ahead and used the top hole like I talked about doing. If I need a little bit more lift because of the weight of the box and gear, I have another hole that'll probably only give me another half inch, which is good. So anyhow, that's all finished up, bolted up, tight, torqued, and everything. The only other thing I'm going to do for the suspension is move this rear brake line. I just want to relocate it a little bit to get more slack. I don't want to tear the brake line out of it off-road. So that's the only other thing I'm going to do for suspension. Other than that, we're pretty much done with this. However, I do want to bob the frame and shorten the frame 14 inches, which means I'll cut the box down too. But I haven't decided if I'm going to do that next or not. Just follow along and you'll find out. I do have another project I want to get started on. I have an 82 Chevy Blazer, 4-wheel drive, that I just want to kind of restore, just like I did the other two pickups. This one here has just been for fun. The body's rusted out, so I don't care if that's why I'm calling it DECAY. I don't care if it's all rusty. It's going to get beat up out in the woods, so this one's just for fun for me. So anyhow, thanks for following along. I appreciate it. I hope what you saw is helpful and useful. I do have a couple other videos of what I've done to the front suspension and work up there. But I'm done with the suspension, and now I got to move on to bigger and better things, maybe. So thanks for following along. If you haven't, please subscribe. I appreciate it. And give me a couple thumbs ups. And we'll catch up with you guys later. Thanks. Bye.